Your mind can be your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. If you don't take control of it, it will control you in ways that quietly destroy your confidence and purpose. Every battle you face on the outside is nothing compared to the silent war happening within. Winning that war is the only way to truly move forward in life. You don't lose in life because of failure. You lose when you let fear, doubt, and negative thoughts lead your decisions. Today, we'll talk about how to take back your mental power when everything around you feels out of control. We'll explore the small but powerful steps that help you stop overthinking, break through fear, and create peace within yourself. This is not about being perfect. It's about being in control of your thoughts even when life is at its worst. If you're ready to take back control of your mind and finally win your inner battles, then let's dive in. Number 1. Accept your feelings without letting them control you. Most people wake up already feeling defeated. You open your eyes and the weight of the world seems to press down before your feet even hit the floor. The mind starts racing. Worries about money, relationships, missed opportunities, health, the future, it all comes rushing in, and suddenly you're not even in control of your own day. You're just reacting. And that's how many live reacting to every emotion, every thought, every stressful moment, instead of responding with strength. But here's the truth. You are not your feelings. You are not your thoughts. They are part of you, but they are not the one driving the car unless you hand them the keys. Feelings come fast. Sadness, anger, fear, frustration, they don't knock politely. They barge in. And the biggest mistake people make is believing they have to act on those feelings the moment they show up. That's not strength. That's surrender. And you're not here to surrender. You're here to grow stronger, to fight back against the storm inside you with clarity and courage. The battle is not in the world outside. It's right there in your head and in your chest. It's in how you respond when things feel too heavy. The war is won not by pretending the feelings don't exist, but by seeing them clearly, calling them by name, and standing tall in their presence without letting them knock you over. There's nothing weak about feeling sad. There's nothing wrong with being afraid. In fact, those feelings prove you're alive and human. But when they start running your life, making your decisions, setting your tone, they steal your peace, and they steal your progress. You've got to learn how to sit with those feelings without being ruled by them. You've got to feel them, hear them out, and still do what needs to be done. That's strength. That's discipline. That's power. When you feel anxious, stop. Breathe. Ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling? Don't run from it. Get familiar with it. Most people are afraid of their feelings because they've never taken time to understand them. But the mind is not a monster, it's a messenger, and every emotion you feel is trying to tell you something. Learn how to listen without obeying. Understand the difference. Listening is awareness. Obeying is letting it take over your direction. That's why some folks stay stuck for years. They feel tired, so they stop trying. They feel hurt, so they close off. They feel angry, so they burn bridges. They feel hopeless, so they quit. But every time you act out of a passing emotion, you give it power. You train your mind to trust feelings over truth, and that's dangerous, because feelings lie. They change like the wind, but truth is steady. It's what keeps you grounded. The truth is, you've survived every bad day you've had so far. That's proof that you're stronger than what you feel in the moment. The truth is, you've faced fear before, and you're still standing. The truth is, your feelings are temporary, but your decisions echo long after they're gone. One bad mood can damage a good relationship. One night of hopelessness can cost you a year's worth of work. So slow it down. Don't let temporary emotions lead to permanent regret. And here's something you've got to remember. Nobody wins by ignoring their pain. You win by facing it without letting it shape your choices. Cry if you need to. Feel it all. But then stand up. Don't scroll it away. Don't drink it away. Don't sleep it away. Sit in it, breathe through it, understand it, and then act from a deeper place. Not from pain, but from purpose. You have the power to step back and say, "This is how I feel, but it's not who I am. That's maturity. That's strength. When life hits hard, the undisciplined mind panics, hides, or lashes out. But the trained mind, it steadies itself. It knows that no feeling lasts forever. It knows that storms pass. It knows that fear is loud, but it doesn't have to be in charge. Some mornings you'll wake up and everything in you says, stay in bed, but you get up anyway. Not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because your future is worth more than your current mood. You don't wait to feel ready. You act like the person you want to become, even on the days you don't feel like that person at all. And here's the shift. Once you accept that feelings are part of the process, but not the steering wheel, you start to take your power back. You no longer sit and wait for motivation. You no longer let anger dictate your words. You stop waiting for fear to go away before you act. You stop chasing happiness and start building discipline. And from that discipline, peace grows. Some people live their whole lives avoiding hard emotions. But you're learning how to carry them with strength. You're learning that your feelings don't make you weak. What makes you powerful is being able to feel everything deeply and still walk forward. That's courage. That's growth. The world tells you to chase happiness. I'm telling you, learn to be okay with discomfort. Learn to stay grounded, even when your emotions are swirling like a storm. Because the goal isn't to never feel bad again. That's not realistic. The goal is to not let those feelings rule your life. You've got goals that matter. You've got people who need you to show up strong. You've got a life worth building. And if you can learn to let feelings come and go without attaching yourself to them, if you can learn to pause, breathe, and respond with wisdom instead of reacting from pain, you will win this war inside your mind. Not by avoiding the hard feelings, but by facing them head-on and walking forward anyway. Number 2, challenge negative thoughts with facts and positive truths. Every single day, the mind can become a battlefield of thoughts. Some are helpful, but many are not. Most people don't realize how often they let negative thoughts control their emotions and decisions. The mind is quick to jump to the worst conclusions, to focus on what could go wrong, or to tell stories that make you feel small, unworthy, or stuck. These thoughts aren't just random, they are habitual. They show up because the brain is wired to keep you safe by scanning for danger, but that survival mode often distorts reality. The problem is, when you accept those negative thoughts as facts, you give away your power. You allow fear, doubt, and sadness to shape your actions, and that keeps you trapped in a loop of struggle. But the way out is simple and powerful. Question those thoughts. Challenge them with facts and truths that uplift you. When a negative thought hits, pause. Don't run with it. Don't accept it blindly. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is there evidence to back it up? Most negative thoughts sound convincing, but when you check them against reality, they often fall apart. For example, if the thought says, I always fail, look back and list times you succeeded. If the thought says, nobody cares about me, remember people who have shown you kindness or support. Facts are the antidote to feelings when those feelings push you into doubt or despair. It's easy to get caught up in the what-ifs and worst-case scenarios your mind throws at you. But what most people don't see is that these thoughts are just possibilities, not guarantees. The mind is creative, and sometimes it creates fear to protect you. But that fear can be unnecessary and damaging. You must learn to recognize the difference between a thought that is a real warning and one that is just your mind spinning out of control. Positive truths are your armor. These are statements about yourself and your situation that are based on evidence and hope. They are grounded in what is real and constructive. They might not erase the struggle, but they give you something solid to hold on to when the negative voices get loud. Positive truths remind you of your strengths, your past wins, and your ability to face challenges. The more you focus on those truths, the less power the negative thoughts have. When negative thoughts come, treat them like a visitor who overstays their welcome. You acknowledge they are there, but you don't let them rearrange your house. For example, when the thought says, "I'm not good enough," counter it immediately with, "I've faced tough times before and kept going. I have skills and qualities that matter." Repeating these truths reinforces your confidence and shifts your mindset from victim to victor. It takes practice. The brain has been trained for years to react negatively. It's like a muscle that has developed a habit. But the good news is that muscle can be retrained. Each time you catch a negative thought and replace it with a fact or positive truth, you strengthen a new, healthier pattern. It's a process, not an overnight fix. But every time you do this, you are winning small battles that add up to a major shift. People often think ignoring negative thoughts is enough. But that's like covering your ears and hoping the noise stops. It doesn't work. You have to actively engage with the thoughts, evaluate them, and replace the harmful ones with something real and encouraging. That way, your mind learns what to focus on and what to discard. One important point is to avoid extremes. Negative thoughts often come dressed in words like always, never, or everyone. These are exaggerations your brain uses to make things seem more threatening than they are. When you hear those words, take a mental step back and remind yourself that reality is more balanced. Life isn't all good or all bad. It's a mix, and you've got to find the facts within that mix. Another key is to practice self-compassion while you do this work. Challenging negative thoughts is not about beating yourself up for having them. It's about being kind to yourself and refusing to let unhelpful thoughts dictate your worth. Imagine talking to a friend who is struggling. Would you tear them down or lift them up? You deserve the same kindness. Over time, this habit builds resilience. When difficult situations arise, you don't collapse under the weight of negative thinking. Instead, you look for the facts, identify the truths, and decide your response. That's how mental strength grows, one thought at a time. Remember, this isn't just about feeling better temporarily. It's about changing how your mind operates so that you can take control of your life. When you stop believing every negative thought, you open the door to better choices, healthier emotions, and a stronger sense of self. You don't have to be a prisoner of your own mind. This strategy is practical and accessible. No fancy tools, no special training required, just awareness and willingness to question what you think. You may find it helpful to write down negative thoughts and then list facts or truths that challenge them. Seeing it on paper can give you perspective and make the process easier. The mind loves patterns. If you consistently meet negative thoughts with facts and positive truths, those patterns shift. Your brain starts to expect that kind of thinking, and over time it becomes your default. You train your mind to become your ally rather than your enemy. Challenging negative thoughts isn't ignoring reality. It's choosing to see reality clearly, not through the lens of fear or defeat. Sometimes the truth is hard, but it's always more useful than an assumption or a story you tell yourself that holds you back. When you begin this practice, you may notice a change in how you feel. There will be less anxiety, less heaviness, less hopelessness. You gain clarity and calm, and with that calm, you can make better decisions. You can move forward with more confidence because you know what is true, not just what your mind is telling you to fear. Many people don't realize how much power they give to their negative thoughts. They let a single bad idea about themselves or their future shape their day, their week, their life. But you don't have to be that person. You can train your mind to spot those thoughts early and replace them with facts and positive truths. That's how you protect your peace and build momentum. This is not about fake positivity or ignoring problems. It's about facing reality with clear eyes and a strong heart. You honor your feelings, but you don't let them write the story. You are the author, and the pen is in your hands. When your mind challenges negative thoughts with facts and positive truths regularly, it becomes a powerful tool for success and happiness. You begin to see obstacles as challenges to overcome, not threats to your existence. You see yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as a person capable of growth and achievement. Every time you do this, you reclaim your mental freedom. You stop being a passenger in your own mind and become the driver. That shift changes everything. Life will still have difficulties, but you will handle them differently. You will be stronger, clearer, and more determined. This is how you win the war inside your mind. Not by ignoring the dark thoughts, but by shining the light of facts and positive truths on them. That's where real power lives. Number 3, focus on solutions instead of problems every day. It's a hard truth that most people spend way too much time thinking about their problems instead of finding answers. When life gets tough, the natural reaction is to stare at what's wrong, what's broken, what's missing, what's causing the pain. The problem is, when the mind stays stuck on problems, it drags you deeper into frustration, fear, and hopelessness. You begin to feel trapped, overwhelmed, like there's no way out. The endless cycle of worry doesn't solve anything, it only magnifies the difficulty. Yet the key to winning the battles in your mind is shifting your focus from the problem itself to the solutions you can create. This shift isn't easy, but it is necessary, and it will change everything. When faced with a challenge, most people's first instinct is to complain or get stuck thinking about how unfair things are. That's normal, but it doesn't help you move forward. The moment you stay focused on what went wrong or what's missing, your brain gets locked in negative patterns. It makes it harder to see opportunities or even small ways to improve your situation. It's like staring at a wall and missing the door beside you. Your energy goes into feeling helpless instead of looking for the way out. Solution-focused thinking means looking at the facts of the situation and asking yourself, what can I do next? What is one small step I can take to improve this? It forces your brain out of victim mode and into problem-solving mode. When your mind moves toward action, no matter how small, it feels empowered. That feeling of control is crucial because it breaks the cycle of overwhelm and panic. You don't need to solve every problem at once. The secret is to find one thing you can do today, right now, to make progress. Maybe it's reaching out to someone for help. Maybe it's researching an answer or cleaning up a small part of your life. Maybe it's simply changing your attitude about what's possible. Every small action builds momentum. Momentum builds hope. Hope fuels strength. Focusing on solutions also means being creative and flexible. Sometimes the original plan won't work. Sometimes the problem seems bigger than you expected. But when your mind is trained to seek solutions, you don't get stuck. You find alternatives, try new approaches, and adapt. That mindset separates those who give up from those who keep moving forward no matter what. When people face tough times, they often feel alone and helpless. They forget that solutions aren't always found by one person acting alone. Sometimes the answer is to ask for advice, to lean on others, to share your burden. Solution-focused thinking invites collaboration and connection. It says, I can't do this alone, but I can take the step to find help. That step alone can change your entire perspective. One of the biggest traps is believing that if you don't have the perfect answer immediately, you are failing. That's simply not true. Life is about progress, not perfection. The goal is to keep your mind moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. Each step you take toward a solution teaches you something valuable, whether it's success or a lesson from failure. When your attention stays glued to the problem, your mind gets tired and confused. You feel like you're running in circles. But when you focus on solutions, your brain works differently. It becomes a place of creativity and possibility. You begin to see options where before you only saw obstacles. You start to hear ideas that inspire action rather than thoughts that breed doubt. This way of thinking also helps with emotional control. Problems often bring up strong feelings, fear, anger, sadness, that can paralyze you. But focusing on what you can do shifts your emotions. You replace fear with confidence because you're not waiting for things to get better on their own. You're making them better. That sense of responsibility over your life fuels motivation and calms anxiety. You can practice this mindset every day. When a problem shows up, write down the facts. What exactly is the challenge? Then list what you can do, no matter how small. Break the problem into parts and tackle each piece one by one. Over time, your brain will get used to thinking this way, and it will become automatic to look for solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Remember, this is not about denying your difficulties or pretending they don't exist. It's about refusing to let the difficulty be the main story. The story changes when you shift your focus to what's possible. Problems might be part of your life, but they don't have to be your entire life. Another important part is patience. Solutions don't always show up immediately. Sometimes they come slowly after trial and error. But the consistent effort to focus on solutions builds resilience. You build confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. And that confidence is what carries you through the toughest seasons. Many people give up because they look too long at what's wrong. They get overwhelmed by the size of the problem and forget that one small step is enough to start changing everything. Don't make that mistake. Keep your eyes on the solution, no matter how small or imperfect it is. When life feels chaotic, focus on what you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your attitude. These are your tools to create solutions. When your mind is busy figuring out how to fix things, you have less energy to feel defeated. You become proactive instead of reactive. That's how you win control over your mental battles. You will face moments when it feels impossible. When the problem seems too big, the road too dark, and the hope too faint. In those moments, remind yourself that focusing on solutions is not about having all the answers right now. It's about committing to keep looking for answers and taking the next step, even if it's a tiny one. This approach changes your relationship with challenges. Instead of seeing them as threats, you see them as puzzles to solve. Problems become temporary. Solutions become the way forward. This mindset gives you the strength to endure and the clarity to act. No one can avoid problems in life. They are part of the journey. But the difference between those who struggle endlessly and those who find peace and progress is how they respond. When you train your mind to focus on solutions every day, you create a foundation for success and peace, no matter what happens around you. Every day presents problems. Every day also presents opportunities to solve those problems. Which will you choose to focus on? The answer you give yourself will shape not only your day, but the course of your entire life. Number 4, practice gratitude to shift your mental perspective quickly. There are days when you wake up and feel like everything is going wrong. The weight of life presses down before your feet even hit the floor. Your mind starts counting what's missing, what hurts, and what hasn't worked. You remember the failures, the betrayals, the disappointments. And before the sun is fully up, your thoughts are already pulling you into a dark place. It happens to more people than you think. No matter how strong they are, no matter how much they've accomplished, everyone has moments where it feels like life is just too much. But what separates people who stay in that place from those who rise above it isn't luck or magic. It's the discipline of gratitude. It's the power of deliberately choosing to see what's still good, what still works, and what's still possible. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about smiling through the pain and denying the struggle. It's about shifting your mind just enough so you can see clearly again. Because when you're overwhelmed, your mind exaggerates the negative. It filters out everything else. Gratitude clears that filter. It reminds you that even in the middle of hard times, there are things in your life that still hold value. Things worth noticing, things worth living for. The truth is, most people live on autopilot. They go through the day focused on what's urgent, what's stressful, and what needs fixing. And in doing that, they miss the quiet blessings that are sitting right in front of them. They forget how far they've come, how much they've survived, how many days they've made it through when they thought they couldn't. Gratitude pulls your attention back to the things that keep you grounded. One of the strongest tools for shifting your mental state quickly is to list right there in the moment what you're thankful for. It doesn't have to be big. In fact, it works best when it's specific and small. The way the morning light hits the window, the sound of a child laughing, a friend who checked in, a meal you didn't have to skip. The fact that even though life is hard, you still showed up. You're still trying. That matters more than most people realize. When your focus turns toward appreciation, something happens inside your brain. It releases stress. It lowers pressure. It recenters your perspective. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea. It's science. It changes your physiology. Your brain starts to calm. Your breathing slows. Your emotions settle. And your ability to think clearly comes back online. That's when solutions appear. That's when strength returns. You stop drowning in what you can't control and start noticing what you can. That's a powerful shift. People often say they'll be grateful when things get better. But it works the other way around. Things get better when you become grateful. Gratitude isn't a reward for a good day. It's a tool to survive a hard one. When you make it a habit, even just 5 minutes a day, it begins to rewire your thinking. Your mind learns to spot what's working instead of what's failing. You start to approach challenges with more patience and more calm. And you begin to understand that pain and beauty can exist in the same moment. You can't wait for life to be easy before you start being thankful. If you do that, you'll be waiting forever. Life is a mix of highs and lows, wins and losses. Gratitude gives you the strength to keep going through the lows and the humility to stay grounded in the highs. It's your anchor when things feel out of control. One powerful way to practice this is in the middle of chaos. When something goes wrong, stop and name 3 things that are still okay. Not perfect, just okay. Maybe you lost your job, but you still have your skills. Maybe someone walked away, but you still have people who care. Maybe today was rough, but you still have tomorrow. When you train your brain to look for what's still standing, you stop giving all your energy to what fell apart. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Gratitude is a skill like anything else. At first it feels forced. It feels like you're lying to yourself. But you're not. You're just reminding yourself of the whole picture, not just the dark parts. And the longer you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. You'll start to catch yourself before your thoughts spiral. You'll be able to redirect your focus faster. And over time, your mind becomes a place of strength rather than struggle. Gratitude also makes you more connected to people. When you appreciate others, you see their effort. You acknowledge the love they give. And that creates deeper relationships. You stop taking people for granted. You start noticing the small acts of kindness that used to go unseen. That awareness not only changes your mood, it changes how you treat people. And that change ripples outward. In your toughest moments, the question isn't, why is this happening to me? The better question is, what do I still have right now that can help me keep going? Gratitude answers that. It gives you reasons to stay strong when life tries to wear you down. It helps you hold on when your mind is telling you to let go. This mindset can be a powerful part of your morning routine. Before you even check your phone or turn on the news, sit quietly and write down what you're thankful for. Not in a shallow way, but in a way that means something to you. Think of what you survived. Think of what you have. Think of who's still standing with you. Let that gratitude fill your mind before anything else does. It sets the tone for your entire day. When you face uncertainty, gratitude gives you certainty in what you've already overcome. When you feel fear, gratitude reminds you that strength still lives inside you. When life feels unfair, gratitude reminds you that not everything is lost. That's not positive thinking, it's survival thinking. And it works. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to life's pain. But gratitude is one tool that works no matter who you are or what you've been through. It's accessible, powerful, and transformative. The most important thing is not waiting for the perfect moment to start. Begin where you are. Start with what you have. Even if it's small, it's enough. Gratitude grows from there. Every day, life gives you something worth noticing, something worth appreciating. The question is whether your mind is trained to see it. Because the truth is, what you choose to focus on shapes how you feel, how you act, and how you live. Gratitude helps you see clearly. It helps you breathe deeply. And it helps you stay steady when the world shakes around you. Number 5. Take small, consistent actions despite difficult circumstances daily. There are days when you don't feel like doing anything. Days when the weight of everything feels too heavy to carry. You wake up and your body feels slow. Your thoughts are scattered. You're exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. Nothing in you wants to show up. Nothing in you wants to keep trying. And that's the moment where your future is shaped, not by how you feel, but by what you do next. Because real progress in life doesn't come from massive leaps once in a while. It comes from small actions, done daily, even when you don't feel like it. You see, anyone can act when they're motivated, when they're excited, when the path is clear. That's easy. But the real test of strength, of discipline, of purpose, is what you do when none of that is there. When the path is foggy, when the results are slow, when you're tired, disappointed, and full of doubt, that's when most people stop. They tell themselves it's not the right time. They say, I'll start again when things calm down. But here's the truth. There will always be something in the way. Life rarely clears a smooth path for you. If you wait for perfect conditions, you'll wait forever. Taking small, consistent actions is how you build power. It's how you gain ground even when you feel like you're stuck. And it matters more than most people realize. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. But you do need to take one step, just one. That step, repeated every day, is what moves you forward. It's not glamorous. It's not dramatic. It's not flashy. But it's real. And it works. Some people think success is about intensity. But I'll tell you, consistency beats intensity every single time. Because intensity fades, motivation runs out. But habits, once formed, keep going. They become part of who you are. And when you choose the right habits, and you stick to them even on the hard days, they carry you through storms that would have crushed the old version of you. Now, I know what some people are thinking, but Jim, what's the point of taking action when I'm surrounded by problems? The point is that you're not powerless. You're not helpless. You still have a say in how this story plays out. The smallest step forward is still movement. Even if it's just making your bed. Even if it's drinking water instead of soda. Even if it's sending one email, doing 5 minutes of stretching, or writing one sentence. It all adds up. It trains your mind to stay engaged, to stay active, to stay alive to your purpose even when everything feels uncertain. And when you take action consistently, you build self-trust. That's the foundation of confidence. You stop depending on how you feel and start depending on who you've trained yourself to be. You begin to believe that no matter what life throws at you, you can show up anyway. And once you believe that, you become dangerous to your doubts. You become stronger than your excuses. You stop waiting for life to get easier, and you get better. Most people underestimate what they can do in a year because they overestimate what they should do in a day. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do something and do it consistently. That's how momentum is built, one brick at a time. If you lay down one brick every single day in a year, you'll look up and see a structure that didn't exist before. A life that's more stable, a mind that's more focused, a heart that's more steady. You also need to remember that difficult circumstances are not a reason to quit. They are a reason to sharpen your discipline. When things are hard, you get the chance to become resilient. You get to practice staying committed even when nothing around you feels supportive. And over time, that becomes part of your identity. You stop being someone who only works when it's easy, and you start being someone who works regardless. Consistency is not just about results, it's about the message you send to yourself. When you act every day, you tell your mind, I matter, my goals matter, my future matters. And that message reshapes how you see yourself. You begin to carry yourself differently. You start to hold your head higher. And you move through life with more clarity and more strength. And yes, there will be days when it feels like nothing is changing. Days when you think, what's the point? That's where you need to remind yourself, the point is to stay in the game. Because if you stay in the game, the breakthrough will come. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will come. Your job is not to predict the day it arrives. Your job is to be ready when it does. And being ready means you've stayed active, you've kept growing, and you haven't let the hard days stop you. When life throws chaos at you, keep it simple. Break your day down into manageable steps. Don't focus on the whole mountain. Focus on the next foothold. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now that moves me an inch closer to who I want to be? Then do that one thing. And do it again tomorrow. That's how change happens. That's how progress sticks. And don't measure success only by results. Measure it by effort, by the fact that you didn't give up, that you didn't shut down, that even when it was hard, you kept your promise to yourself. That's real growth. That's what builds character. That's what separates the people who just talk about success from the people who actually build it. So if today's hard good, that means you have the chance to become stronger. That means you get to train your mind to act, even in difficulty. That's a skill that will serve you for life. Because life doesn't hand success to the most talented, it hands it to the most consistent, to the people who keep showing up, who keep trying, who keep doing the small things every single day. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for clarity. Don't wait for someone else to cheer you on. Be the kind of person who shows up anyway, who acts anyway, who moves anyway. Because those small actions, done daily, are the seeds of something powerful. And one day you'll look back and realize every little step you took, even the ones that felt insignificant, brought you here, to a better place, to a stronger you, to a life you built with your own 2 hands, one day at a time. Number 6, use deep breathing to calm your racing mind instantly. There are moments when your mind races uncontrollably. Thoughts flood in like a relentless storm, pounding on every corner of your awareness. You feel trapped inside your own head. Anxiety builds, heart pounds, and it seems impossible to find a moment of peace. It's as if your brain is on high alert, scanning for danger, problems, things that might go wrong. These moments don't just disrupt your thinking, they steal your energy, your focus, and your ability to act. But here's the reality many overlook. Your breath is the most powerful tool you have to break this cycle. Right now, in this exact moment, you can change everything by simply changing how you breathe. When life gets hard, your body reacts naturally. Stress hormones flood your system. Your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. This only fuels your anxiety, making your thoughts spiral even faster. But when you learn to control your breath, you control the gatekeeper to your mind. Deep breathing acts as a reset button. It signals your body to calm down, to stop the fight-or-flight reaction. This shift is not magic, it's biology. When you slow your breathing and fill your lungs fully, your brain registers safety. Your heart rate slows, your muscles relax. Your mind becomes clearer. Most people underestimate the power of deep breathing because it's so simple, so basic. But simplicity is not weakness. It's strength. When you train yourself to breathe deeply and intentionally, you gain immediate control over your mental state. This control is the foundation for facing any challenge, no matter how overwhelming it feels. It's important to understand how to do this properly. Breathing isn't just about filling your lungs, it's about engaging the diaphragm. That means your belly should expand as you inhale, not just your chest. When you breathe shallowly from the chest, you keep your body in a state of alert. But deep breathing fills the lower lungs, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and brings your body back to balance. Here's what you do. Breathe in slowly through your nose, counting to 4 as you feel your belly rise. Hold that breath gently for a count of 4. Then exhale fully through your mouth for a count of 6, allowing your belly to fall. Repeat this cycle a few times. With each breath, focus your attention on the feeling of air moving in and out, the rise and fall of your abdomen. This focus pulls your mind away from the chaos and anchors you in the present moment. The results come fast. Within seconds, you feel a shift. Your thoughts slow down. The tightness in your chest loosens. You stop fighting your racing mind and instead invite calmness to take its place. This isn't about denying your stress or pretending it's not there. It's about creating a space between you and your stress. A space where you can see things clearly and choose your next move, rather than reacting blindly. The beauty of deep breathing is that it's always with you. No matter where you are, what's happening around you, or how bad things seem, you can use your breath to regain control. It's a skill that requires practice, but the practice itself is a form of self-care. When you prioritize deep breathing daily, you train your body to respond better to stress naturally. You become less reactive, more steady, and more capable of facing challenges with clarity and strength. This technique also connects you to your body in a way many people lose touch with. When life gets hard, it's easy to disconnect and get lost in your head. Deep breathing pulls you back into your body, into the here and now. It reminds you that you are alive, present, and in control. This simple act grounds you, reduces overwhelm, and strengthens your resilience. When you face difficult situations, start with your breath. It's the foundation. Before you make decisions, before you respond to stress, before your mind spirals out of control, take a moment to breathe deeply and intentionally. It's a pause that changes everything. This pause gives you power over your mind instead of being a prisoner to it. Many successful people use this exact tool. They don't share it because it sounds too simple, but the truth is, it's the secret behind their ability to stay calm under pressure. When faced with deadlines, conflicts, or setbacks, their breath keeps them grounded. It allows them to think clearly, respond wisely, and stay focused on solutions. Learning to control your breath also teaches patience. It reminds you that change doesn't have to happen all at once. You don't have to fix everything immediately. You just need to breathe, gather your strength, and take the next step. This mindset keeps you moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. The next time your mind races and panic creeps in, remember, your breath is the key to unlocking calm. Don't fight the flood of thoughts. Instead, redirect your energy to your breathing. Feel the air fill your lungs. Feel your belly rise and fall. Feel your body relax. That is your power. That is your control. And it's available anytime you need it. Make deep breathing a habit. Use it when life is good to prepare for when it gets hard. Use it when stress feels unbearable to find relief. Use it before challenges to sharpen your mind. Over time, you'll find that this simple practice changes your entire relationship with stress and difficulty. You'll face life's storms with a steadiness others admire and a calm that inspires. The mind races because it's searching for safety, certainty, and answers. Deep breathing doesn't promise to solve every problem, but it gives you what you need to handle them: a calm mind, a steady heart, and the power to choose your response rather than react to your fears. This simple practice turns chaos into clarity and fear into strength. It turns overwhelming moments into opportunities to build resilience and grow stronger inside. You don't have to wait for peace to find peace. Peace begins with your breath. Inhale calm, exhale tension. Breathe deeply, and the war inside your mind loses its power one breath at a time. Number 7. Surround yourself with support that uplifts your spirit. It's a hard truth that when life gets difficult, the people around you can either pull you down or lift you up. And most times, your mindset, your emotional state, your very ability to keep going depends heavily on who you let into your inner circle. You could be dealing with enormous pressure, heavy disappointments, or serious setbacks. But if you have the right people by your side, your strength can multiply in ways you never thought possible. On the other hand, toxic or unsupportive people drain your energy, feed your doubts, and magnify your struggles. This is not just about friendship or casual relationships, it's about intentionally choosing the voices, the attitudes, and the spirits that shape your daily experience. The war inside your mind is fought not only by your thoughts, but by the environment you create and the people you let influence your mindset. Look around at the people you spend most of your time with. Are they encouraging you to grow, to believe in yourself, and to keep pushing forward? Or are they reinforcing negativity, fear, and doubt? The truth is, when you're surrounded by people who believe in your potential, you're more likely to believe in it yourself. Support isn't just a nice addition, it's a necessity for your mental and emotional survival when challenges come knocking. You cannot win this battle inside your mind alone. Your spirit needs nourishment from others who remind you of your worth, who hold you accountable to your goals, and who celebrate your progress even when it seems small or slow. The first step is recognizing the difference between support and distraction. Supportive people listen to your fears without judgment, offer practical advice without pressure, and stand with you without trying to control your path. They help you see possibilities when you're blinded by problems. Distractions, on the other hand, either ignore your struggles, criticize your efforts, or pull you into drama that doesn't serve your growth. This difference can feel subtle, but over time, it makes all the difference in how your mind handles stress and adversity. It's also important to realize that support doesn't mean avoiding tough conversations or pretending everything is okay. Real support challenges you when necessary. It holds up a mirror to your weaknesses while reminding you of your strengths. This kind of honest connection strengthens your mental resolve and sharpens your ability to face reality without losing hope. Uplifting support is a balance between compassion and truth, neither coddling nor harsh judgment. When you find people like this, you build a fortress around your mind that no negative thought can easily penetrate. Sometimes, the people who could support you are not obvious. They might be family members, friends, mentors, colleagues, or even members of communities you belong to. But often, you have to make a conscious decision to seek them out. It's not enough to wish for support, you have to build it. This means spending time with those who inspire you, who share your values, who challenge you to become better, and who genuinely want to see you succeed. It also means distancing yourself from those who drain your energy or who consistently bring you down. This might feel difficult because we often cling to familiarity, even if it harms us. But growth demands courage, and part of that courage is deciding who you allow to impact your mind and emotions. You can also find support in places that aren't traditional relationships. Books, podcasts, communities, and groups with shared goals or values can provide that sense of belonging and encouragement when personal connections feel scarce. These sources can fill the gap, offering wisdom and motivation that remind you you're not alone in your struggle. Hearing stories of people who overcame their own battles can inspire you to keep going. These voices become a support network, reinforcing your belief in your own resilience and potential. When you're surrounded by uplifting support, your mind begins to shift. Negative thoughts lose their grip because they're met with counterweights of hope, encouragement, and perspective. Your spirit, which might have felt heavy and tired, begins to feel lighter and more energized. Your confidence grows because it's fueled by external reminders that you are capable, valuable, and deserving of success. This mental environment creates fertile ground for growth, creativity, and action. Building this support system requires effort and patience. It won't happen overnight. It means being vulnerable enough to ask for help, to express your needs, and to accept encouragement, even when you feel weak. It means investing time and energy into relationships that nurture your well-being. It also means learning to let go of people or habits that keep you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and defeat. This process is not about perfection, it's about progress and intentional choices that protect your mental health. Think about how much easier it is to face a tough day when someone checks in with a kind word, when a friend reminds you of your past victories, or when a mentor shares advice that lights a new path forward. These moments of support are like fuel for your mind. They keep your hope alive and remind you that even though the war inside your mind feels relentless, you are not alone. You have allies who want to see you win, who believe in your ability to rise, and who will stand with you through the hardest storms. If you're feeling isolated or overwhelmed, remember that support is always available. You just have to reach out or be willing to find it. It might start with one conversation, one new connection, or one group that shares your journey. The quality of the company you keep directly influences the quality of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Surround yourself with those who lift you higher, who remind you of your strength, and who refuse to let you settle for less than you deserve. Your mind is your most valuable asset, and the people who influence it daily are its guardians. Choose them wisely. Build a community that fortifies your spirit and sharpens your focus. When the mind is supported, the war inside it doesn't seem as fierce, because you're equipped with a team that stands beside you, encouraging you every step of the way. The battle becomes less about fighting alone and more about moving forward together, stronger and ready to win. Number 8. Visualize yourself overcoming challenges with strength and grace. When life feels heavy and the mind is crowded with worries, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. The battles you face seem endless, the weight of failure or fear pressing down so hard it feels like there's no way forward. This is a reality millions go through, and it's a moment where many simply give up. But what separates those who break through and those who stay stuck isn't luck or talent. It's the ability to see themselves victorious before the battle is even won. Visualization is not just wishful thinking or daydreaming. It is a powerful mental tool that trains your mind to believe in your strength and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Imagine yourself standing tall despite the storm inside your head. Picture yourself facing the hardest challenges with calm determination, not panic. Feel the confidence rising within you, steady and unshakable. This kind of mental rehearsal is more than positive thinking, it's preparation. When you visualize overcoming obstacles, your brain begins to accept those images as possible realities. You build mental pathways that boost your courage and reduce fear. Every detail you imagine, every emotion you tap into while picturing success, strengthens your resolve. The more vivid and real you make these images, the more equipped your mind becomes to act confidently when the real challenge arrives. Most people overlook this practice because it feels unnatural or uncomfortable. They think success happens only in the moment of action, but it actually starts long before that in your mind. When you consistently visualize yourself handling difficulties with strength and grace, you create a mental habit that becomes a resource during tough times. This habit can calm racing thoughts, clear confusion, and remind you of your capability. It's like training your brain to recognize itself as a warrior in the face of adversity. You aren't just hoping things will get better, you are actively programming yourself to respond with power and calm. Think about athletes, performers, and leaders. They don't just prepare their bodies, they prepare their minds by imagining every detail of their performance. They see themselves succeeding under pressure, solving problems, and finishing strong. This mental practice rewires their confidence and sharpens their focus. You can do the same. You can take control of your mental space and create a clear picture of yourself not as someone crushed by problems, but as someone who handles them with resilience and dignity. This doesn't mean ignoring the reality of your situation. It means acknowledging the difficulty while refusing to be defined by it. Visualizing yourself overcoming challenges requires honesty about the struggle, but also a firm refusal to let it defeat you. Picture yourself waking up each day, meeting problems with a steady heart and clear mind. See yourself learning from setbacks without letting them break your spirit. Imagine the sense of relief and pride that comes when you push through, when you don't give in to doubt or despair. These images are your fuel, and they will strengthen your mental endurance. The details you include in your visualization matter. Feel the sensations of success, the steady rhythm of your breath, the calmness in your chest, the steady pulse in your hands. Hear the quiet confidence in your own voice as you encourage yourself. See the expressions of support on the faces of people who believe in you. Imagine the lightness that comes when the burden of worry lifts, replaced by the satisfaction of knowing you faced the battle bravely. When your mind is filled with such clear, sensory-rich images, it becomes easier to step into those feelings during real moments of challenge. One of the biggest advantages of visualization is its ability to reduce fear. Fear often thrives on uncertainty and imagined worst-case scenarios. When you consistently fill your mind with images of success, you push out those fears. You replace "what if I fail" with "I am ready to face this." Your mind stops spinning in circles of doubt and starts focusing on what you can control: your actions, your attitude, your response. This shift is critical because it gives you a sense of agency. You move from feeling helpless to feeling prepared. Visualization also helps you practice grace under pressure. It's easy to think strength means fighting hard, but grace is just as important. Grace means handling difficulties without losing your integrity, without bitterness or rage. It means being firm but kind with yourself when things don't go perfectly. When you picture yourself overcoming challenges, imagine not only your strength but also your calmness and patience. See yourself adapting with wisdom rather than frustration. This balanced approach makes your success sustainable. You won't burn out or break down because you've prepared your mind to hold steady through the storm. Some people worry that visualization is unrealistic or naive. The truth is, it's a practical and tested strategy. By seeing yourself succeed first, you build the confidence and focus needed to take the right steps forward. You create a mental blueprint that guides your decisions and fuels your perseverance. When real obstacles come, your mind is already programmed with a powerful alternative story, one where you are not a victim of circumstance, but an active player in your own victory. To make visualization effective, practice it regularly, especially when your mind feels overwhelmed or defeated. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Then, bring the picture of your strength and grace to life in as much detail as possible. Feel the emotions you want to experience. Picture yourself moving past the hardest parts. The more you repeat this exercise, the stronger your mental images become, and the more natural it feels to draw on them when life gets tough. Visualizing your victory is not about ignoring reality. It's about shifting your mindset to one that believes in possibility, even in the darkest times. It's about training your mind to see strength where before there was fear, clarity where before there was confusion, and hope where before there was doubt. This is how you win the war inside your mind, by becoming your own strongest supporter, your own calm in the storm, your own clear vision of success. When you take time each day to see yourself overcoming, your mind starts working with you, not against you. Challenges remain, but they no longer have the power to overwhelm you. Instead, they become opportunities to practice your strength and grace. Your thoughts become allies, reminding you of your resilience and guiding you toward action. This mental shift is not just a momentary boost. It's a lasting transformation that prepares you for any obstacle life throws your way. Number 9. Replace fear with curiosity about what you can learn. There's no denying it. Fear is one of the most common and powerful emotions we face when life gets tough. Fear makes the heart pound, the mind freeze, and the body want to run away or shut down completely. It's so deeply wired into us that it often feels impossible to escape. But here's the hard truth that many people don't realize. Fear only controls you when you let it. It's not a permanent state or an unchangeable fact of life. The moment you start to see fear not as an enemy but as a signal that invites you to learn something, everything changes. Instead of being trapped in a cycle of worry and paralysis, you begin a process of discovery and growth. When fear hits, most people react by avoiding, denying, or pushing it away. This is natural, but it also traps you in the same place. The harder you fight fear, the stronger it seems to become. The mind gets tangled in what-ifs, and it's easy to believe that fear is proof that you're not ready or not capable. But fear itself is not the enemy. It's the story you tell yourself about fear that keeps you stuck. Instead of asking, "Why am I so scared?" start asking, "What can I learn from this fear? What is it showing me about myself or the situation?" That simple shift in questioning turns fear from a roadblock into a guide. Curiosity is one of the most powerful human instincts. It opens doors to understanding and growth. When you replace fear with curiosity, you stop seeing the situation as a threat and start seeing it as an opportunity. The nervousness you feel shifts into questions. Why am I feeling this way? What is underneath this fear? What information am I missing? How can this experience help me grow? Those questions help you move beyond emotional overwhelm into thoughtful exploration. This doesn't make fear disappear instantly, but it changes your relationship with it. Instead of being overwhelmed, you begin to analyze and make sense of it. This approach also helps you stay present. Fear has a way of pulling you into worst-case scenarios far ahead in the future. It's easy to imagine failure, rejection, or loss before they even happen. Curiosity, on the other hand, roots you in the present moment because it focuses your attention on what is actually happening now and what you can learn from it. It creates a mindset of observation rather than judgment. You start noticing details, feelings, and facts instead of spinning stories in your mind. This clarity gives you more control over your thoughts and feelings. Replacing fear with curiosity also builds resilience. Every time you approach a fearful situation with a curious mindset, you practice courage. You teach yourself that discomfort doesn't have to be paralyzing. You learn that difficult experiences are temporary and can teach you valuable lessons. Over time, this rewires your brain. You become someone who faces fear not by shrinking away, but by leaning in to understand and overcome it. This shift creates a stronger, more flexible mind that can handle setbacks and uncertainty with greater ease. It's important to be honest about your fears. Curiosity doesn't mean ignoring or minimizing what scares you. It means acknowledging those fears openly and then choosing to explore them with an open mind. Write down what you are afraid of, then ask yourself what this fear might be teaching you about your needs, limits, or values. Maybe you're afraid because you care deeply about the outcome. Maybe fear shows you where your comfort zone ends and growth begins. This kind of reflection turns fear into a tool rather than a barrier. Taking this approach also opens the door to problem solving. Fear often shuts down logical thinking because it triggers fight or flight responses. Curiosity invites analysis. You start asking what steps you can take, what resources you need, or what support you can ask for. You move from feeling stuck to feeling proactive. This not only reduces anxiety, but also empowers you to take practical action in the face of difficulty. One practical way to develop curiosity over fear is to pause when you feel overwhelmed. Instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to breathe deeply and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What is this fear trying to tell me? Notice the physical sensations without judgment, the tightness in your chest, the racing thoughts, the shallow breath. When you calmly observe these signs, you create space between yourself and your fear. This distance allows curiosity to enter and explore the fear instead of being consumed by it. Another important part of this process is to remind yourself that fear is temporary. Feelings come and go. No matter how intense fear feels in the moment, it will pass. When you approach it with curiosity, you learn to watch fear rise and fall like waves, knowing you don't have to be swept away by them. This perspective brings a deep sense of peace and confidence that even the toughest moments are not permanent. Most people underestimate their ability to learn from fear. They see it as a weakness instead of a teacher. But fear is one of life's most honest signals. It points to places where growth is needed, where courage is required, and where transformation is possible. When you face fear with curiosity, you move from being a victim of your emotions to being an active learner. You become someone who doesn't just survive difficulties, but uses them as stepping stones to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. This mindset doesn't just improve how you handle fear, it transforms how you approach life overall. You become open to new experiences, willing to take risks, and ready to embrace challenges. Curiosity drives creativity and problem-solving, helping you find unexpected solutions and new paths forward. It creates a life that feels more dynamic and engaging, even in the face of hardship. Replace fear with curiosity and you reclaim control over your mind. You stop being controlled by what you cannot predict and start mastering what you can understand. This shift takes practice and patience. But every moment you choose curiosity, you build a habit that rewires your thinking and strengthens your mental muscles. You prove to yourself that fear does not have to dictate your story. Instead, your story becomes one of learning, growth, and unstoppable courage. Number 10. Remind yourself why your goals matter every morning. The start of every day often feels like a struggle. The alarm goes off. The bed is warm, and the weight of responsibilities already presses down on you. Many people begin their mornings caught in a fog of tiredness and hesitation, questioning if they really want to face another day filled with challenges. The truth is, when life gets hard, motivation can be the first thing to vanish. That's why reminding yourself why your goals matter every single morning is not just a nice idea. It's a necessity if you want to win the war inside your mind. When the world feels heavy and you wake up with that sinking feeling, your mind is searching for reasons to stay in bed, to avoid discomfort, and to protect itself from uncertainty. This is natural because your brain is wired to seek comfort and avoid pain. But every morning you have a choice. You can either surrender to that inertia, or you can ignite a fire by consciously reconnecting with your purpose. Your goals are more than just distant dreams or vague desires. They are the fuel that can push you through the toughest moments, the anchor that keeps you steady when storms rage inside your mind. Why does reminding yourself of your goals matter so much? Because goals give your actions meaning. Without meaning, it's easy to drift through days feeling lost and overwhelmed. You start doubting your worth and questioning if your efforts will ever pay off. But when you consciously remind yourself why your goals are important, you reconnect with the bigger picture. You remember what you are working toward, not just for yourself, but often for those who depend on you or the legacy you want to leave behind. This is not about forcing yourself to be positive or pretending everything is fine. It's about grounding yourself in reality with clarity and determination. Think about the people you want to support, the freedom you want to create, or the impact you want to make. When you look at your goals through this lens, they become real and urgent. They stop being abstract ideas and become personal missions. This perspective can push you past feelings of discouragement and fatigue. Each morning, as soon as you wake up, take a moment, even if it's just a few seconds, to silently state or write down why your goals matter. What will achieving them bring into your life? How will it change your daily experience? What emotions do you want to feel when you reach them? When you do this regularly, your brain starts to associate your goals with positive emotions and real value. This rewiring makes your motivation less dependent on external circumstances and more rooted in your internal drive. In those moments of clarity, your mind shifts from "why bother" to "what can I do today that moves me closer?" It becomes easier to prioritize tasks, make decisions, and even push through discomfort because your reasons are fresh and alive. This habit builds momentum. Every day you remind yourself why your goals matter. You take a mental snapshot of your purpose that stays with you throughout the day. It's like carrying a compass that points you in the right direction when distractions and doubts try to pull you away. This practice also helps you resist the lies your mind tells you when challenges arise. When obstacles appear, it's easy to feel defeated and think that your goals are too far out of reach. But if you have consistently reminded yourself why you're pursuing them, those doubts lose power. You can return to your why as a source of strength, a source of hope that reminds you the struggle is temporary, but what you're working for is worth it. This internal anchor helps prevent discouragement from becoming despair. Another reason why this habit is crucial is that it connects your present actions with your future vision. Too often, people live their days disconnected from their dreams. They get caught in routines that feel meaningless and forget that every small step matters. But when you remind yourself why your goals matter each morning, you create a clear link between your daily grind and your ultimate destination. This makes even the toughest tasks feel like part of a larger, valuable process. It's also important to be specific about your reasons. Instead of saying, "I want to be successful," identify exactly what success means to you and why it matters deeply. Is it financial security, freedom to spend time with loved ones, or the chance to inspire others? The clearer you are about your goals and the emotions tied to them, the stronger your motivation becomes. Vague or general reasons don't stick in your mind as well and are easier to forget or dismiss when the going gets tough. This daily reminder doesn't have to be complicated. Some people write their why on a sticky note and place it on their mirror. Others say it out loud while brushing their teeth or repeat it quietly before getting out of bed. The key is consistency. The more you anchor your mornings in this reflection, the more it shapes your mindset for the entire day. Your mind begins to see challenges as part of the journey, not as reasons to quit. When you face setbacks, this habit gives you a mental reset button. Instead of spiraling into frustration, you bring your focus back to your purpose. This calms the mind and refocuses your energy on what truly matters. Your goals become your shield against despair, reminding you that every effort counts, even when results aren't immediate. Remember, motivation isn't a constant feeling. It fluctuates with circumstances, energy levels, and mood. That's why it can't rely solely on how you feel each morning. Instead, it needs to be nurtured by a deliberate choice to reconnect with your purpose. Your goals aren't just about outcomes, they're about who you become in the process. The discipline to remind yourself why they matter is a step toward mastering your mind and your emotions. This practice also prepares you to face difficult days with a strong foundation. When problems come, you won't be starting from scratch with your motivation. You'll have a reservoir of meaning to draw from. This steadiness changes how you experience challenges. Instead of being overwhelmed, you find strength in your commitment and clarity in your direction. Life will throw hardships at you. That's inevitable. But when every morning starts with a clear reminder of why your goals matter, you build a mental fortress. You transform from someone who drifts through hardships to someone who actively navigates them with purpose. This mindset shift creates a powerful inner force that makes you unstoppable over time. By reminding yourself why your goals matter each morning, you set the tone for your day, shape your mindset, and strengthen your resolve. You create a habit that turns motivation from a fleeting emotion into a steady driver of action. This practice gives you the mental tools to face challenges head-on and keep moving forward, no matter how hard life gets.